Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at a case from Canada, and it's Michael Dunahee, who disappeared on the 24th of March of 1991. His family had gone to the Blanshard Park Elementary School in Victoria, BC, which is in Canada, and around 12:30, so a little after noon, he had asked to go to the playground, and the playground was only about 100 yards away from that field, and the mother said, okay, that's fine, but don't go with anybody, and you stay there until your father comes and gets you, basically. So he went there, and only a few minutes later, the father actually went to the playground to go check on him, and he couldn't find him. And they immediately started searching for him. About 50 people that were there, they were all out there looking for Michael Dunahee. No traces were found. The only thing that people could report is that they had seen or suspected to have seen a male in his 40s or 50s hanging around the playground, and there was a sighting of a brown van. Now, people with brown vans were investigated by the police, but they were not held suspect. I think the most interesting suspect was a man who had murdered a child in the 50s, I believe it was, and said that they had murdered another one. And when they went to look at his house, they actually found a missing persons poster of Michael Dunahee. That man unfortunately passed away, so they're definitely not going to be tried. Many people over the years have thought that they might be Michael Dunahee, and they've done DNA tests, and so far nobody has actually been Michael, so there isn't really much to go on. So that is why they asked if I could do a tarot reading on the case. We're starting off with the vice versa deck, which is currently on the table, which is this one. It has the double-sided cards, which different sides of a coin, I suppose. And for any further questions, moving on to the Tarot of the Magical Forest, which is this one. And that has more images such as this, like the forest creatures with the large eyes. As per usual, I'm just going to start shuffling the deck. As soon as you have about a table full of cards, we're going to stop and take a look. So without much further ado, let's get started. Okay, if you hear any noises in the background, by the way, we have slightly stormy weather today, so that could be the reason. I don't see the microphone picking it up too much, but just in case, that's what it is. Anyway, so we have quite a few cards here. We're starting off with the Five of Wands over there, and then the Four of Wands right next to that, followed by what I believe is the Queen of Cups in reverse and backwards. And the Four of Wands is also backwards. Let's just go take a look what we've got here. Grab the first three. So the Five of Wands is a struggle happening. And let's see if this is the front or the back. I don't think it makes a huge difference whichever way you look at it. But we had the side with the volcano, which I think is definitely something very urgent erupting. It has slight tower vibes to it. Like the thing with volcanoes is that they often signal beforehand that something is going to go wrong, but the moment that it actually erupts is still a surprise to everybody. And I kind of get that vibe as well with this card, like, okay, there's struggle here, but it's not completely unannounced, just that it's sudden. And I don't know if we're at the park yet, because the next card we have is the Four of Wands, which is normally a harmony card, but it's the back side, and we see that there is a Pan-like character dancing with a woman. I don't know if she's trying to get away from him or something, or if they really are having fun. The front, I think, does show them having some type of fun together. Yeah, sorta, kinda. But yeah, normally it's a harmony card, but I think this is more the outward facing harmony. They're looking at the sun right above them, And I think we're looking at a couple over here with these first two cards. And they may have had some type of arguments, or there's something going on between them. They fought a lot about this, and at this point, with the eruption of the volcano, it really came to a head. And then we have the Queen of Wands in reverse and backwards. So Queen of Wands is normally somebody who is very aware of their feelings. Is also capable of feeling other people's feelings, like empath type vibes. At least is able to sense when somebody's not doing well and might know how to make it better. But they're looking the other way, and there's a stork on the back of the chair here, if you can see that right there. It's etched into the back of the chair. Now normally she would be focusing on her feelings. There's the big focus on that, actually. Probably a lot of her decision making comes from deciding with her heart. So normally a very open and flowing type person, but in this case looking the other way and also in reverse, so manipulative but perhaps facing outward. And these three cards, like I said, kind of looks like a couple to me, a couple that's been arguing, and maybe the wife or the one with the most feminine energy gave them a cold shoulder at some point. But this is something that's been going on for some time. And then the next card that we see here is the Four of Cups, being unable to make a decision or having no interest in any of the choices that are laying before you. But also this is like a long-term thing. I'm getting a sense that this is a childless couple that may have had arguments about the fact that they are childless and probably trying to figure out who is to blame. Maybe they hadn't actually researched this. We see the Seven of Swords, and we see the Sun in reverse. Like there's some deception going on here. This is the back side of the Seven of Swords. It's got a skull in the background there, as well as a sword that appears to be sticking out of the stone, but I think it's just in the dirt. Yeah, on this side it's just in the dirt. So I'm feeling like somebody's being manipulated, perhaps has been manipulated for a long time, has been very hurtful perhaps with their words as well. And this has definitely lowered their sense of coming together. The Sun is in reverse, so they're not happy in their relationship. The balance is gone, the light is gone. But then we have on the next row the King of Swords in reverse. Now, King of Swords is somebody who is fairly manipulative. At least in reverse he is. Not upright. Upright is just somebody who really speaks their mind. And also very good intellectually, very sharp-witted, have a good command of the language that they speak. But in reverse, like I said, could be very manipulative, twisting words, misrepresenting things, cherry-picking facts, that type of stuff. And next to them we see the Hanged Man, and we have here the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So this reminds me, or at least makes me think of somebody who has a plan and is trying to get somebody to see things their way, and also bringing in this here Seven of Pentacles, almost like, well, we could just do nothing, but you know what that leads to, and that's not what we want. And so this is maybe somebody who is trying to convince somebody that they need to do something a little different in order to get what they want, because their actions so far, and their outlook so far, has been pretty grim here with this very bad looking Seven of Pentacles. I think that they actually did manage to convince the other person in the relationship to go along with it. We have next the Page of Cups in reverse and backwards. They were perhaps initially surprised, the other person in this thing, but it's not a shock because we see the Tower in reverse. It may also just mean that they're not able to let something go, or this has perhaps been discussed before. And the last card on the row is the Knight of Cups, which is somebody who focuses mostly on their own emotions, and in this case perhaps negatively so. So this, I think, is the other person. Here at the start line we have person A, which may be the male, but at least somebody with a good amount of masculine energy, trying to convince person B. And person B is like, yeah, I'm not super surprised that you would bring this up, because of course you would. This is something you would definitely come up with. It's no surprises. As we can see, the Tower is in reverse. followed by the Knight of Cups, focusing mostly on their own emotions. This could be the moment where they decided, you know what we should do, if we can't have any kids of our own, we should adopt, quote unquote. And I know exactly how we can do that. This could be a couple that's been trying to figure out ways to adopt before and has been rejected somehow, which may also be represented here with the Seven of Pentacles just being or bearing no fruit. Their efforts so far have been fruitless, but now we have a different way to go about things, and even though it's not quite the way that they may have wanted to go, like the official way, it's still not a huge surprise, like I said, and they're mostly just focusing on their own emotions, like very selfish energy here with the Knight of Cups in reverse. So it's kind of like, yeah, let's do that, and I really want this for me, that type of thing. So let's see what else we can find, because I think this is what's led up to the 24th of March. Now let's go to the day itself. What can we see about that? Okay, these two just wanted to go, although there's three of them. Let's see. First one, we have the Three of Wands, which is planning your trip and perhaps also arriving at your destination, or at least heading towards your destination. We have the Six of Pentacles and we have the Queen of Wands. All right, so I think maybe the female in this case has been the one to actually take the action. She may have gone up to Michael, maybe has gone up to several, because I do see several people down here, several children, to perhaps offer them something. This could literally mean offering candy, or just offering some type of toy, or saying, hey, if you go over here, we have a much more fun thing to do than just this silly playground, and why don't you come play this game over here? I just need a few more people to help me out with this, or something along those lines. Or it could, like I said, help me out. It could be that she asked for help from the children, and what the thing is with people is they really like to help others, to feel like they're doing good, and particularly children are very helpful. So maybe she went up to the playground and started asking kids to help her with something. Something that works very often, it just comes to mind right now, is people have tried to kidnap kids before, saying that they had a puppy in their car and could you help me with the puppy and come take a look at it, it's so cute, maybe you want to have it, that type of stuff. Like something that a child would really be interested in, that they would approach them with and say, hey, why don't you come look at this, or hey, don't come help me with something like that. And that may have convinced Michael to come with her. In any case, the Queen of Wands is fairly steadfast, knows exactly what she wants, and probably had this plan worked out, or at least acted very quickly in order to get what she wanted. Let's see what else we have. And I'm saying she, of course, because the Queen of Wands, but this could still be the male in the relationship. Nobody really has seen any adults, I think, talking to children there, but particularly if it's a woman at a playground, before I get to this card, by the way, if it's a woman talking to children at playgrounds, people don't tend to look at that a second time. They just kind of go, well, I guess that's the mother or the aunt or somebody, because the women and playgrounds are not held to the same type of suspicion as males. So it doesn't surprise me that people were pointing towards a male who had been seen around the playground, who may not be related to this case at all, and maybe the female that was there went unnoticed, that type of thing. So maybe that's a thing. That's why we may be seeing the Queen of Wands is not the King of Wands. Anyway, we have the Temperance card here. So we're either being asked to have a balanced approach or a level-headed approach to something. Could be that they were very careful with Michael not to upset them. Like they had tempted them over to their car or whatever it is that they were planning an escape with. And were very level-headed, like I said, tried to make sure that he was feeling okay, and tried to also come across fairly well balanced to not freak him out. Possibly could also be Michael trying to stay calm as well, but he was 4 years old, so I don't know how calm a 4-year-old might be if they feel like they're in trouble. Probably wouldn't be seeing a temperance card for that. But anyway, so maybe she was pretending to be very nice and even-keeled and all that sort of thing. I have 3 cards here. So now we have the 2 of Wands, which I think is also pointing towards, hey, would you like to come with me to this other place? And it's going to be so much fun. The eyes on this character are closed, so I'm thinking that even though plans are suggested, it's probably also the case that they are not fully aware of said plans. We have the Knave of Wands in reverse, so that is the Page of Wands taking bad actions, and we have the Magician, so they are very smart and very capable. They were very crafty, I think, along with Temperance in the background and the Magician, but also very quick to act, which may not have been very well planned. So even though she is or he is a very capable, they may have acted a little bit rashly. But in any case, this looks as though we are exiting the scene at this point. What else can we see beyond this? We have now, this is the Knight of Wands, also reversed, so this is definitely getting out of here. This may be the part where they leave the playground and the area, trying not to draw any attention, and I think this is get in the car, let's go, because the Knight of Wands is a bit more mature and also very action oriented. Who is this then? The World in reverse. Yeah, from this point on, we do not know where Michael is anymore. Nobody's seen him anymore, or even knows where he is, whom he's with, that type of thing. Hidden from the world. That's why that's how I usually see the World in reverse when it pops up in readings like this. Okay. Next we have Justice in reverse. So now they're doing very bad things. They're doing unjust things. We have the Lovers in reverse. And we have the Sun in reverse again. So this seems like they, of course, did wrong by Michael, obviously, by kidnapping him. But I think also the happy ever after that they were expecting did not show up, because Michael did not want to subscribe to whatever games they were planning on playing to keep him quiet and obedient, because the Lovers is also kind of like the subscribing to a certain narrative kind of card, joining a group and thinking like the group does, that type of thing. So I don't think he agreed to that. I think this is him constantly asking, where's mommy, where's daddy, who are you, where am I, where is my house, that type of thing, which of course led to them feeling very disappointed, and they were expecting something much more joyful. Also noticing that they do have a Joey in the pouch, if this is a kangaroo, and it has a red flag, so maybe he actually started to try and communicate to people outside of the home, possibly dropping hints here and there at people, in a way a 4-year-old only can, of course, about how they do not belong to this person, they do not know this person, and even though they probably were not recognized by anybody, I'm sure at least somebody out there may have had an experience with a couple walking around with a child that appeared to be not feeling too good about being in their presence. So what do we have next? Switching back to the vice versa deck. That's a rather large stack over there. Well, this one's at least showing. How much do we have? 5? Okay, we'll take all 5. Sometimes if the stack is too big, I will actually not take all of them, but shuffle it again. Anyway, so we start off with the 6 of Wands, which in this case is on the victorious side, so it could be that they are making some type of headway ultimately, basically because Michael is starting to get tired, which is the 9 of Wands right there. So it could be that they started to give in or stopped asking so many questions because it was just too exhausting to keep doing that. And of course, people that he was with were constantly telling him the same thing. Then we have the Five of Pentacles, which is in reverse, and we're looking at the other side. Normally we're on the outside in the snow, like over here, but over here we're in a bit of a gilded cage, and I think that's also what this card is trying to say. Like, even though he kind of gave in, they were well taken care of financially, possibly, at least where they were taken care of. All their basic needs met, but that doesn't mean that they felt good about their situation at all. We see the Ten of Swords, which I think is the backside. Yep, they're not in their shell anymore, but they do see the result of basically a lot of lies being told, I think. Also with that sun being eclipsed there in the background, it's almost like they grew up knowing that things were not quite right, but also not knowing the truth and perhaps about themselves. So this may be a case where somebody actually survived their kidnapping, if I see these cards right, and they are at least trying to pretend that things are okay between the family. We see here the Three of Cups, that's why I'm saying that. Interestingly enough, though, there are 3 cups, 2 of them on the ground, and 1 of them being held up to the sky, almost like I'm slightly different from these other 2, but I am trying to keep the peace here. So that might be what's happening. So even though they're not quite sure who they are, perhaps, or at least they're not quite sure why they feel a certain uneasiness, they are trying to keep the peace at home. Let's see if we can get anything else. Are they ever going to realize who they are, or do they even know who they are? Are they going to return? Are we going to see anything from Michael? Oops, that's a lot of cards. This one dropped off the side. We see the Two of Cups. It's back, but this time we are subscribing to this new life. So I think that for the sake of their own peace of mind, perhaps they decided to just go with it for now. We have here, I think this is the Queen. Yeah, Queen of Swords. And they are facing the other way. And there is a huge ice crystal, it looks as though, behind them. So I am getting very cold readings on whomever the feminine energy person of the couple is, that they have treated them fairly coldly. And there have been initiatives, I believe, to try and undertake perhaps some type of quest to figure out who their parents are or something. They may have told Michael at some point that they were adopted or something, or that their parents voluntarily gave them up to them, and they will not entertain any other thoughts about that topic. And then I'm talking about the one of the parents, I guess, kidnapper parents. Even though Michael may have tried a few times to undertake certain activities to try and figure out what the truth actually was. So whenever he's trying to do something new, perhaps to change the situation, he is basically cut short here by this Queen of Swords, who's like, no, this is not right, and let me tell you how it is. And then the whole spiel comes out, and they are basically put back in their place. Are we ever going to see Michael again, perhaps under a different name? Is this case ever going to be closed? Okay, we got a couple of cards right there. We have the Queen of Cups, we have the Nine of Wands in reverse, and the Wheel in reverse. Okay, Wheel in reverse is like not turning. Perhaps it'll turn eventually, but it's definitely not turning anytime soon. I think this Queen of Cups is still very much in control, because we had the Queen of Cups earlier as well, way at the start of the reading. The Nine of Wands is just being tired of fighting, and then the Wheel in reverse, like I said, is not turning. I'm thinking that he is just so exhausted from all these years of being told one thing while feeling another. The Queen does have a pretty strong hold over him, but that Wheel back there, even though he's tired of fighting with his Nine of Wands, it's not turning right now, but I wonder if eventually it will turn, because you can only really stop the wheel from turning for so long. So I'm thinking that maybe eventually he will be able to be victorious right here with the Six of Wands, but for now things are still stopped. Let's see if we can figure out anything about the future then. What makes the wheel turn? Oh. Okay, we have quite a stack here. I think this is going to be the final bunch. Okay, what makes the wheel turn? We have the Ace of Wands, which is another initiative. Could be that 1 point the initiative that he takes are going to be successful. We have the Knight of Cups again in reverse, just like we had them back here. Maybe somebody's going to end up... I think maybe they're going to end up breaking up this couple at some point, perhaps. We have the Six of Cups in reverse. We have the Three of Swords as well. The Three of Swords upright. So maybe whomever it was that was the Knight of Cups earlier, I think I said that may have been a female of the couple, is going to end up feeling like they're hard done by, because they are still very focused on themselves. That probably won't change. And one of the results with that is that they're probably going to look back on their past and perhaps feel bad about it. So maybe at this point, whenever this may be, this person is going to start talking about the past and perhaps stopping the lies and just coming clean, but mostly for their own sake, not necessarily for Michael's sake. More like they have to get it off their chest, and that's why they want to talk for a moment. And that may be how Michael finally learns the truth, and then maybe be able to take that final initiative step to get this wheel turning and reveal himself once more. That's what the cards are saying to me in any case. I think that's all I'm going to see from Michael Dunahee for now. Hope you found that interesting. Make sure to leave a like and a comment. That really helps the channel along. If you'd like to subscribe, that would also be very nice. In any case, I hope to see you in another video. Thanks for watching, and bye bye for now.